You're watching the Cannabis Broadcasting Group here at cbgtv.com.
I'm already into the 420, damn it!
So what are you doing? Nothing? Why not?
Trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
The opinions expressed during this show are those of the individual participants and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of their associated organizations or Lifestyle Radio.
You like music, you like weed, well, we gonna be good friends indeed. This is how much I like more than smoking trees. They'll make you dance the do-si-do and teach you how the chiba grows. Smoke a bowl on the 420 radio show. On Lifestyle Radio.
Hello. Oh.
Thank you.
Yeah, I wanted to play this, but I'm going to wait until Steve comes. So hi, this is the 420 Radio Show. We're live here at 420radio.ca. Well, we're waiting for Steve Bloom to join us, and the guys are here. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, whatever you want to say.
Yada.
Yeah, blah blah blah. Is it over yet?
Today.
Thank God.
Today's the last day of Christmas. That was funny. When do you take down your Christmas tree?
I don't have a Christmas tree, and I know that there's still a tree up at the house.
Yeah.
We take ours down New Year's Day.
Darcy, when do you guys take your tree down?
It was New Year's Day.
Do you know what the tradition is?
What's that?
January 6th.
It's really too long.
I didn't know that.
No, because actually right now is when a lot of the Orthodox countries are celebrating Christmas.
When is Chinese Christmas? And the Chinese New Year. They're like
I don't know. No,
they're February.
This one is the 12th day of Christmas.
Oh, does China have a Christmas?
Yeah, China celebrates a different type of Christmas, I think.
All right,
I really don't know. I shouldn't start rumors. So,
January
how's
22nd is the Chinese New Year, Al.
I saw that you. Oh, it is?
Yeah, January 22nd.
I saw you've been posting Optimus stuff lately. Is that going good?
It's getting there slowly but surely. It's just had some nice looking shit come in the last few days, so I figured I may as well put it out there.
He sure did. I can't wait to try some of it, actually.
Well, as I said, my cannabis here in Terrace Bay has brought in, at my request, some...
The mac and cheese.
The mac and cheese, yeah, from
Oh,
Truro.
thank you. I hope you like it.
Well, isn't that what you sent me? I think that's
I
what
can't remember what I
tried. I've only tried one, and I think that's what it was. I've still got the can here somewhere. Oh, no, maybe I don't, because I have moved.
I can't remember.
But yeah, they're carrying two favorite products, Truro and Shatterizer. I walked in there and I said, "You got to carry this. You got to." Oh, I have Shatterizer dab stuff. Like, cool. They've got the crap. What was the one that I had? I don't even remember the strains. My memory is gone.
Was it the 8-ball?
Yeah, it was the 8-ball Kush. Thank you, Darcy. There's my memory right there.
No, the one I put up today was the citrus skunk.
I know.
I saw that.
That smells amazing and looks amazing.
Are you guys allowed to sample yet?
Unofficially.
Big smile on his face. Sample? What's that?
No.
Sure, I can buy. I can go buy some and then sample it.
I think that is the stupidest fucking rule.
Well, I have a Mr. Jack Lloyd working on it for me, so
I'm glad you got Jack on your corner. I love Jack. Jack knows shit.
Yeah, no, Jack's working on it for me, but I have tasted the citrus skunk. And The name is exactly perfect. You'll have that nice citrusy lemon at the start and that skunk aftertaste.
Skunk is a big flavor, though. People want that.
But it's funny because if some people aren't into skunk, like I like it. Like for not like, yeah.
Some people won't smoke it if it don't smell. I mean, like one of the plants that I grew, I don't even know what strain it is. Nice buzz, but the taste is fucking horrible.
Well, no, but it's a weird, like, I don't know how to say it, but the skunk is pleasant. I don't even like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, I hate skunks, but it's a
familiar weed smell.
Yeah, but it's almost to me like a perfumey, like skunk. I don't know.
What I mean.
I like
it's a familiar smell. If it smells like weed. That's what the skunk smell is. It smells like weed.
Here's how I describe it.
Oh, it smells like skunk.
I think it tastes like skunk.
That's what weed smells like.
That specific weed. I got the privilege of packaging some of it. It literally smells like if you took a skunk and oranges and mixed them together.
Yeah, it's more orangey than lemon. Darcy's right. I shouldn't have called it lemon.
Is that available on the OCS now?
Nope.
No.
Limited edition.
You see, this is the thing that sucks, Len, is because by the time your strains are released, they're gone before they get here.
Oh, I don't know if we'll ever get those yet, to be honest.
You can get that off through Optimus.
Until
Darcy buys it all.
No, I won't buy it all. I want one can of it, and that's all I want.
Churros, I'm pretty much sure I can get a few more cans at a churro if it sells out, so don't worry about it.
I have to wait until I get my paperwork back before I can sign up at Optimus because I have expired at the moment.
I don't think we're gonna sell out there's quite a bit at churro at the moment, so
that's good to hear because for a while there you were having a hard time getting your shit out the door.
What's that? Yeah.
I said that's good to hear because for a little bit you were having, there wasn't enough to go out.
Oh yeah, no, we got a bunch of that. It's just recent, right? So there's lots of it at the moment. But
okay, so since we're
talking, it will get into Sask and it will get into Nova Scotia in the next little bit. So when
churro stuff.
What's that?
The churro stuff or the Optimus stuff?
No, the churro stuff.
Okay.
So once it gets into those markets, it will move a little bit quicker.
Explain since we're talking about it. Explain what Optimus is.
Optimus is just
Optimus Prime.
Optimus Cannabis. Honestly, Optimus Cannabis was a side project to me. So
I know
I have 2 pharmacies. I can't bring cannabis into my pharmacies, which is stupid. To me, cannabis is a medication. So
yes, I agree.
So what I did was I opened up a medical sales only license directly above one of my pharmacies.
Can people walk in?
No, they cannot.
It's all
we're baby stepping it, but really it's myself, my staff pharmacists, my staff technicians that really operated. So we operated under the Cannabis Act, but try to apply our pharmacy standards in the same sort of way. So So in the end, it's online, just like the other medical sales platforms. Okay. The main difference is, hey, would you want to talk to pharmacists? Which I'll be honest, it's probably going to be me.
So if you're listening and you want to talk to Len and say hello, call him at Optimus Cannabis.
Yeah, so I've actually talked to patients and they don't even get registered Optimus. They didn't have a doctor. They didn't really want much. I actually say, hey, you know what? This is at your NSLC. If you have no problem doing that, go do that. This is how you dose it.
Well, okay. So are you allowed to help? Are you allowed to help people get the licenses? Are you allowed to furnish that information?
If they need some direction how to get a license, I can point them in the right directions on certain places.
Good.
I have a few physicians locally that may see them if that needs the case. But
that's awesome.
At some point, I am going to challenge the law Probably invoke Jack's help down the road once we get there to maybe allow people to come in and maybe make it more store frontage. I didn't need to confront the law and stir up a whole lot of shit because I'll be quite frank. Truro is not a big population. I'm going to be doing most of it mail order anyway. Even if you're like for friends like yourself that live in Ontario, you're not driving to Truro to. So that's why I didn't make such a stink about.
Dude, I don't even want to drive to Thunder Bay. Never mind.
No,
Truro.
I know. So no, it's not a walk-in, but it is a medical sales thing. The other thing was, I'm not trying to carry the world. I'm not. I was like, all right, I want to find nice quality cannabis flower, oils, soft gels, vapes, things that I will recommend for a patient or that I think patients might like, and trying to have a bit of a local Nova Scotia flavor to it. Obviously, got Truro products on there, got East Can, couple MCQs on there.
Are you allowed to bring in products out of province? Can you bring in like?
Oh yeah, I got CBD oil and some vapes from Glacial Gold out in BC, just because I thought they make a nice vape and a good quality price. Their CBD oils are probably the best price CBD oils, so I wanted to make sure I had some, like at least the best price per milligram available.
I've looked at the prices. Yeah. I looked at the website over the holiday, and I mean, they're comparable to what I'm getting here in town. And I mean, I'm getting $29 ounces off online, but
no, and some of it, right? Like you
can get $100 ounce. You can get $100 ounce. I saw that.
Oh yeah, no, we have some of those, and
they have.
Will they always be there? No, it's what it is just okay. Like I talked to Truro. Obviously, I'm connected to Truro, but I talk to East Canada, and sometimes like they do a big batch. Sometimes there's a few thin bags that don't make a case that they can't sell somewhere, right?
So you can pick that up, and
that's what I'm trying to do. Is okay. I am trying to get some of your premium stuff, and they're going to charge me for it. So they will, like the Mac, honestly, 28 gram, I think is on. I had to put it for $154.
That's a good price. I don't care.
Oh no, it's a fair price, but I can't get that for $85. Like it's just not an option.
You had that for $85, I'd buy every ounce you had.
I know you would, but when I can get some, if I can get something that's a little bit older.
Now, are you going to put like the one thing I absolutely love about having you here every week, Len, is the fact that you are a medical practitioner. You can give medical advice. Therefore, we don't need that pesky disclaimer. Please don't use our information as medical advice.
Even when you see when I'll say something like what I cannot tell someone to do, like. I can tell a patient one-to-one when I'm talking to them one-to-one on what's the proper dosage for them, what's the right medication, what to avoid.
Yeah.
And that's as a pharmacist. Like I say, I'm not going to go tell everyone, go stop this and take this. And
of course.
But that's really what Optimus is. It's just like everyone has heard the medical cannabis by Shoppers, big ass thing.
Well, I was just going to say, Shoppers been doing it now for 3 years, I think, right?
Yeah, and that's what they're doing. And I just said, you know what? I want to do it a little bit smaller. My thing is they're not really that. They're there as more of a cannabis farm, I guess. They're just trying to push shit through. Yeah. Even when you do your consults, it's with the nurse practitioners. No Shoppers pharmacists are actually involved.
I've been through clinics. Mr. Middleton was doing clinics in Belleville. And he's actually closed up now, Marcel. I don't know if you know that. He closed the shop. And they were bringing in online physicians to talk to patients in the store. They had a room set up in the store where you could go in, and that was private, out of the way, and they would help you with your forms and stuff like that. That's the service, and I call it a service because it is a service that I'm used to getting when I enrolled in all these different groups and clubs and stuff like that. when I lived in the Durham area. Mend is close by, and Rob's been doing stuff with Mend for Rob, right, Marcel, from Mend.
Yeah.
And there's so many great helpers out there. Jack Kungle, he's the new guy on the block, Jack. Okay. And this week I saw a post from Rick Simpson. So, but the whole community's changed. So it's
we need young blood in.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. It's nice that you have the drive that we had when we started doing this, Len, and you're in a position to help and make it work, as opposed to, the illegal market, the gray market, the brown market, whatever you're calling it these days.
I'm not even trying to compete with it. As I said, this was
me
trying to
help.
This was me trying to get as close in the pharmacy as I'm legally possible to do. And I'm going to be quite frank. I'm losing money doing Optimus.
Well, you probably won't.
It's not ever. I'm never going to get rich from it. It's not the intent. It's just something that I wanted to do.
That's right.
I'd like to stop losing money.
Clinic, right?
I'd like to stop. I'd like to break even.
Yes, I'd like to break even on this too.
I just like doing it. I just like doing it. It's just something I wanted to do. Kind of ties in with Truro and East Can, who are friends. Yep. Obviously, Truro and East Can are friends, and I'm working with Breathing Green might bring some products in. Like I'm trying to get the other Nova Scotia LPs to give me a little bit of stuff. And I said the same thing. It's just, hey, what's at the end of your case? They're sitting in the vault, it's kicking around. You want to dump, or what's something you have some overstock? Bring it in.
But the thing is you're not doing it to make money off of it. You're doing it, Darcy. You're driving me nuts, buddy. You're doing it to help patients and give them the right information. Our biggest thing here has always been, don't listen to the bullshit. Check your fucking facts. Listen to what we have to say, and then go check your facts, and you'll find out that those are the facts, as opposed to the stuff you hear in the mainstream medium, which is all fluff, telling you what they want you to hear. And like most of the information that you hear about CBD is bullshit.
CBD, like, it's not that it's all bullshit. It's just it's not quite the hype they put it up to.
Right, it's over-exaggerated.
Yeah, but some of the people I've consulted, remember I said I'd send some liquor store? So I had a lady with arthritis, she wanted to try it, didn't know how to dose it. You know what, like Optimus to get free shipping is whatever, $125, just like a typical LP. She wanted to try a bottle of something. It's like, honestly, ma'am, you're better off, like, versus the prescription and buy it, and like there's a $15 mail charge. I did tell her how to dose it. I contacted her back. She bought a bottle at the liquor store. I saved her $15. I made no money on it. 30 minutes of my time.
But did it work for her?
She finds it's helping, so great.
Good.
It was safe. She's not on any blood thinners.
This goes back to what we were talking about on the last show too. A lot of it has to do with the placebo effect that may or may
ton of
not
it
be
is,
present.
but some of it's not.
All right. Oh, I agree that some of it's not. But
you know what? All you have to do is put CBD on the fucking label, and everybody's going, "Oh yeah, let's use this." You
want to know my annoyance of CBD? It's not even the placebo effect, Marcel. I think Darcy, you guys heard me say this. I'm an omega-3 fish oil fan. Mm-hmm. It is a fantastic anti-inflammatory, probably the most studied natural supplement in the planet. It works, got cardiovascular data. It's excellent. It's $70. I can get people barely to fucking buy it. Yeah. But if it has the word CBD on it, $80, $100, no fucking problem. They'll buy it. That's what pisses me off.
When people ask me stuff, they're like, CBD. I want some CBD. How do I get CBD? How can I use CBD? What should I use it for?
It's the hype. That's what pisses me off.
Come on now. I mean, first of all, so it is hype.
But again, the trick about CBD,
fake news.
Well, no, it's not fake news. It's also, there's a big difference between CBD isolate and a whole plant CBD extract.
Yes.
Because a whole plant CBD extract's also got some THC, it's got some CBN, CBG, all of the other cannabinoids are in
And
that.
it's not it, and it's
But here's
not
the thing, Marcel's not
what I was gonna say.
wrong, but you can get an effect with an isolate. But here's what most people don't know.
I don't like isolates at all, or distillates.
No, but you can get an effect with it, but you need about 10 times the dose of that isolate to get something equivalent to those whole plants. So it can achieve it.
Oh yeah, they can achieve it, but then they also risk that narrow bell curve that CBD has on relief, because once they surpass that, then they're not getting any more relief.
Well, and the other trick is, all right, so maybe in my experience, is most people, if they're looking for a little bit of arthritic pain, somewhere between 50 and 75 milligrams a day of CBD, broken up a few times a day. But after that,
with the whole plant, I would say 25 a day max.
Different, maybe.
Yeah.
But and I've had people work on less, but I'm just saying on average I find it's around 50. But honestly, once you start crossing 50, 75 milligrams, shit's too expensive.
Oh yeah.
If I gotta put you on 150 milligrams a day, yeah, we could probably make it work, but fuck, that's expensive.
Yeah.
So I usually, so that's part of my
cover it.
Yeah, it's not covered by insurance. And here's the other joke about, this is not just CBD or cannabis. Is like, is it helping? I'm not really sure. Here's a counseling tip. Stop it.
And
you feel better. In a few days, how do you feel? Oh, I feel worse. Well, guess it was working. Because most people with chronic pain, the expectations of pain is the trick. They think they're going to go back to when they were fucking 20 years old and feel that great. No.
Sometimes depends on how much you have.
No.
But for somebody starting out, Lennie has a very valid point.
It's the expectations.
People with chronic pain because I have MS, I have chronic pain. And the problem is people with chronic pain get used to that chronic pain.
Yeah.
Right? Whether they like to admit it or not, they actually get used to it. If they start taking cannabis, they may still have some pain.
But it's tolerable, and it's the pain scale. Like, what's your rate your pain? Oh, yeah. 7 out of 10. Okay. A week later, if you're on
a Band-Aid, a mask, it tells the body to stop thinking about the pain. But then that's
why I think there's part of why cannabis works is it.
That's what I mean. The distraction.
No, there's some of it's distraction. There is actually some nerve firing and anti-inflammation, but I do think there is a bit of a brain effect. But no, what I was getting at is, in a pain scale at a 10, if you drop from 6 to 3 or 4, that's actually quite effective.
Right.
Yep.
But if somebody's using cannabis for a while and they figure, it's not working, all they have to do is stop. And within 3 days, they'll know what the pain actually felt like.
Exactly. And
because it'll take about 3 days when it all comes back.
Yeah.
I've gone 3-4 a week, and then had a buddy come over and smoke a couple of doobies with me, and you can actually feel it go dink 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 through the body. You can feel it working.
Oh yeah,
instantly, right? And like that's when you really notice. When I'm smoking the time,
you also get high.
I still get high, sometimes too high.
Yeah. But part of the fun to me too is like,
I was shooting for that tonight with
start things. It's when you're working with a patient, like what is your goal? Like what, like, especially I just want some CBD. Oh, why? Well, I heard it was good. Good for what? Good for what? Like, what's your goal? Well, I'd really like to sleep better. Okay, well, let's talk about that. What have you tried?
But that's the same thing that I do with patients is, I heard this works. Yes, it can. Well, I'd like to try it. Well, what do you want to alleviate, or what's your target here? Yeah. And if it's pain, that's an easy one, because pain is the simplest one to say whether or not it's going to work. Right? As soon as they start using it, they're going to have decreased pain. Harder ones are mental health issues like anxiety, depression, and things like that. Because really have something to gauge it on other than their well-being.
Yeah. And it's also a lot of that stuff is like it's how is it affecting your daily life functioning? Like are you able to go to work? Are you staying home or being sick? Like it's
a quality of life scale.
But again, what's their agenda? Like what is the anxiety doing to them that's ruining their life, right? And there's all kinds of weird, like one of my funnest ones, sleep, right? Because there's different issues with sleep, and like, yeah, turn the TV off, get the fucking phone out of the room. If you're not done that right away, oh, you're drinking coffee at 7. Let's talk about that shit too. But and there's certain things like I know health professionals hate the smoking aspect of it. But guess what? Here
I can understand that, but it works.
No, but here's the scenario, and this is what I chirp into every fucking healthcare professional is, oh, you can never smoke it. Oh, it's like, okay, really? There is an actual syndrome of people, and I'm one of these fuckers that wake up at 3 a.m, bam, I'm awake. Can't go back to sleep. Not every night, but a lot of nights. I can't take an oral edible then and go to work at 6 a.m. because I'm going to be fucking high as a kite. There's no pharmaceutical anybody can give you, but you know what I can do? Grab a puff. Joint,
I love to see that, Lenny. You show up to work high as fuck.
I will not. Because I do, if I need to go back to sleep because of like I'm right, and some of it's just restless, like, oh my God, I'm gonna be tired at work all day. It's the mind racing. But there's no other product that any healthcare professional can figure out to give somebody at 3 a.m. so they can go back to sleep, maybe get back up to work at 6 and get to work or 7. Inhaled cannabis. I have a bong in my bathroom. If I want to run to the window and take a rip, I'll do it. I also have a vape pen right by the bed. So if I'm really lazy, don't want to get out of bed, I'll take a few hauls off of that. And guess what? A couple minutes later, I fall asleep. I don't smoke cannabis in my house. That's just me. My wife would shoot me as well. But that's why I have fun with it, right? It's like people just like that is a legitimate therapy for sleep that no other agent can provide.
I described it in court and made the prosecutor look like an idiot. But I described it as because I was asked point blank on the stand why I used both oral and smoking. And my answer was the oral helps with the spasticity and chronic pain from MS, and the smoking helps with the mental clarity and to realize when some idiot's trying to set them up. And the judge just cracked right up. But for me, the smoking of it clears my brain so I can think straighter. Think of how Al is with his ADHD and seeing squirrels and taking off, right? That, for me, is completely controlled by smoking cannabis.
Well, for certain people, like when I'm going to go actually grab I have a couple THC drinks I'm going to grab here in a second, but you notice I don't smoke a lot on the show because it actually slows my brain down and I don't find I communicate very well. So that's why usually towards the end of the show or right after the show is when I smoke.
See, I smoke all during the show.
No,
so
but for you
ahead.
guys, it focuses you guys. But for me, it slows me right down. I don't like conversing that way.
See, what's slowing me down is the 4 gummies I ate before the show.
Yeah. But that suits you. So that's why I say.
Did you have ice cream, Darcy?
No, I didn't eat any of it.
Ice cream. Ice cream. What ice cream?
It's a year. It's almost.
He was going to eat some moon mist.
No, it's chocolate.
Marcel. Oh, chocolate.
It's
okay. But
yeah.
I bought it. I got it in April, and it's still in my freezer, but it's got a little bit of ice on it. I was just wondering if it would still be good, and it should be because it's still froze.
Yeah.
I was just hoping it wouldn't give me the shits because I don't need that again.
Hold on, Steve.
And here's Steve.
Hi guys. Hi, team.
Hey,
Team
Steve.
How you doing, Steve?
420.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good Sabbath.
Somebody got a TV on or something?
Good Sabbath. Funny.
You always blame it on Darcy.
Wasn't
So-
Darcy, was it?
Yeah, let's blame Darcy because he was chopping his weed very, very loudly.
It couldn't be me. I was muted.
I know I muted you.
See,
I
so
think
it
it
can't
was.
be me.
I think it was Al watching some. I don't know.
YouTube
some
thing.
Musical tube or
Could have been me
musical
eating
movie.
nuts.
You eating your nuts.
I'm eating my nuts. Yes.
So did you have a good holidays? I'll just call them holidays, whether it's Christmas or whatever you celebrate, Steve.
They were fair. I had RSV.
Oh, really? That sucks.
It wasn't as bad, but I mean, just not used to getting anything. I haven't had COVID during this whole period, but kind of snuck through the cracks of like not being protected and not paying attention to what RSV was until I got it.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just fun.
I never understood what that was actually.
Make smoking a joint hard.
I took a break for a few days, but it's a bronchial. It's just basically bronchial, sinus stuff. So you want to take a bit of a break, when you have a sore throat or whatever. So, but I got back to it. I kind of took a couple. I probably took about 5 days off from smoking.
I don't think I could do that.
That wouldn't happen.
That 2-week period, and I looked it up, and I had every symptom. So I figured it was RSV. I called my doctor. There's no medicine for it, so you basically have to just take over the counter, whatever. There's no antibiotic for it. There's nothing. So
There's really constant coughing in that.
Say again?
Is it constant coughing and like it's like a bronchitis, right?
A heavy cough. You can't. And your sinuses, like your nostrils are closed.
My
You have
sister's
to
been going through that for about a month.
Use inhalers, put on vapor rub, whatever it is to open you up a little bit, to suck on a on a lozenge, whatever, just to open up your throat and open up your sinuses.
Yeah.
So basically that was that. So I kind of had that during I caught that, I believe, at a cannabis party. I was sharing a little bit, and I really don't share much these days, but I let my defenses down. I'm boosted. I have a flu shot. So I figured I was good, but the one thing I didn't plan on was RSV.
Yeah, it kind of snuck in the back door and hit people in the ass.
Exactly. That's exactly what happened to me.
Yeah. So, Steve, would you please tell our listeners and watchers, welcome to the show, by the way. You've been on a while.
Thank you.
I invited Steve to come on because he put us on a list, and although it was an alphabetical list, we're still a number, so we're up at the top.
Right. I did that on purpose, just for you guys. I figured, I do a list like this, and everybody will want me on their podcast, right?
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, we're number one. We deserve
I've
to have you.
had that list up for a while. I just updated it.
Yeah, that's what I said. We were talking about it this afternoon, and I said I think you update it every now and then.
I went through it. I saw another list online a couple of days ago, and I figured I'd update mine. And I look at that list that had about 125, podcasts, and see what I'm missing. And then I went through my list, and I'd say around good 20 of them weren't really active. So I added and subtracted. So
Steve used to be with High Times, way back there. Part of the original crew? Yeah.
No. I'm in the. I came in 1988. So High Times started in '74. So I'm kind of a middle period guy. Kind of in the middle of High Times. From.
But it's also when High Times was very, very popular.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying High Times isn't popular now, but it was
the only one out there. There was Skunk. There was a couple of others. Treating Yourself.
They came later. Skunk and Cannabis Culture came later. We had the whole market to ourselves. We had absolutely no competition. It was bizarre to not have any competition whatsoever. So we could do whatever we wanted. Never looked around to see what else somebody else was doing. And, then came Cannabis Culture, was the first one really. There were a few other like a magazine called Heads and a few other magazines that popped up in the U.S. in the 70s and 80s, but nothing lasted. And then came Cannabis Culture, and then came Skunk, and I'd say maybe Weed World out of UK and a few others. Not too much competition in the U.S. during that time, except for maybe once legalization kicked in, you started to see some new magazines, pop up. But High Times had, and then of course I was before the internet. Now there's a thousand weed blogs and podcasts, but back then, there wasn't any of that, or the internet was pretty new, so there wasn't really any competition.
I've enjoyed sitting here watching go from this point to where we are now, and it's a fight that's not over as far as cannabis goes, and there's I'm enjoying watching what's going on with mushrooms. It's the same similar fight, but it's going to be quicker, and it might even be worse than the cannabis fight, unfortunately.
Might be what?
Worse.
Why?
Because there's even more stigma there. But then
but you just finished saying the cannabis fight never
isn't over.
There's more stigma. Yeah. No, the cannabis fight isn't over. It's
never
always
will.
going to be a fight.
Mm-hmm. Because
the government wants to make sure that you're always going to fight for it.
That's right. Yeah.
Right?
That's right.
Mushrooms will be the same way, but there's more. It's going to be a harder fight,
I think.
I don't think so, because I think there's more stigmatizing over cannabis, because don't forget that started in fucking late 20s. And I mean 1920s. And that has basically been inbred for generations. So we're just now slowly getting over that. Mushrooms, nobody has ever really talked about mushrooms.
No.
And now all of a sudden they're getting all kinds of news. But now you're getting all kinds of news that are talking about mushrooms. And the majority of the information that people are seeing on social media is all the benefits.
Yes.
Right?
So
they're seeing it more of a medicinal product than they did of cannabis, because cannabis was a gateway drug that got you onto heroin. I've never done heroin in my fucking life. And I've used tons of cannabis.
Well, it's going to be interesting. Are you covering stuff in the world of mushrooms now, Steve, or are you sticking cannabis?
Well, I'm following it. I find it kind of amusing, the whole thing. Honestly, now mushrooms have to be a medicine to be accepted. Cannabis had to be a medicine to be accepted. Stephen Colbert did a little riff on it last night about New York legalizing adult use cannabis, and that Oregon's legalizing psilocybin. And he was reading, and he goes, a license. He goes that you have to go to a licensed center, with a counselor. And he says, a licensed service center? Is this taking mushrooms or getting your tires rotated? It's just kind of funny to me now. You have to go to a licensed place to have a mushroom trip. This is what it's come to. So, I'm more power for people, experiencing mushrooms and getting off on them. But I'm not really crazy about the idea that it has to be medicalized first to be accepted.
Yeah, I don't like it either. Right. I've been microdosing for going on 3 years now, and I will continue whether or not I'm allowed to or not, much like cannabis back in the day.
But
I've been.
Is it helping you? The microdosing.
Oh, fuck yeah! You know it is, dude. On a daily level, I've got less and less depression. I'm able to get up and do stuff and hang out with people.
Is your dose every day or every 2 days, 3 days?
When I need it. If I don't do it for a while and I'm feeling a little depressed, or like something's coming on or not feeling well, I will even go as far as doing a 5-day. I don't know what they call it these days. A 5-day
fast
session. Yeah,
Oh,
whatever.
go
You know,
for
but
5
I mean,
days.
I'm only doing 1.2 or 0.12 and maybe even 0.2. So
Right.
I'm really doing the dose. I'm not tripping. I don't want to trip. Okay. If you
Have
trip,
you
you go
tripped
right
on them?
ahead. Oh yeah.
Have-
I have.
So what's the most that you've taken in once?
That would have been the nipple show, buddy.
Nipple show. Oh,
Yes.
You don't
Yes.
even know how much you had.
I had the privilege of doing my first major amount of psilocybin with 2 girls from the Naked News, Steve. So it was interesting.
But we didn't have StreamYard or anything like that back then.
Oh, it was just audio.
So other than them going live on their page so that we could watch. So
Yeah,
Al was pretty baked that night.
I was
sitting there with two slightly nude ladies
from Naked News.
From
At the lounge in Hamilton. We were just sitting in the lounge. It was fucking awesome. There were people hanging out, Yeah. So, were you going to say something, Steve? You wanted to say something?
I'm just trying to jump in here. You guys are a little hard to jump in on, but
sorry. Jump in anytime. Just interrupt us.
Welcome to my living room.
I can't see you guys either. I just see me.
Oh, well, there you go. We're not all on camera, so
I know. Okay, there you go. I'd rather see the room. Great. I'm tired of staring at myself.
That would be awkward.
The whole mushroom thing. In the last year or so, I hadn't really taken mushrooms in a while, and I'm an older guy who did it when I was younger, and really didn't do it too much in my later years. I kind of did it in my high times years, but kind of blasted off, and then kind of like slowed down on the psychedelics. Kind of multiple periods of my life where I've had periods, like a younger period of use, a period during high times, and then I guess now to some degree. So I've eaten the chocolate bars and taken this and that, and I don't know. I've just found my experience with mushrooms lately is they just make me kind of queasy, and they don't really do too much for me. It wasn't really my favorite psychedelic back in the days. I never really found the sweet spot with mushrooms, though I had really one outstanding mushroom tea trip at a rainbow gathering out in the woods. But my preference was LSD. I liked that better. The effects were clearer. You didn't have to wait to figure it out. It just all came at you. Mushrooms, it's like, how much did you take? What's the dose? Did you take enough? Blah, blah, blah. LSD, you always took enough. At least I did. Or you took too much.
Yeah,
I
don't like
you never took too little. Unless you
tripping
took a corner of a tab. But, and even that would probably send you flying. So, not that I want to be doing LSD these days either, but that really had a powerful effect on me. Mushrooms didn't.
Yeah, but I could see you doing a hit of acid and sitting back watching TV.
That would not be the thing I really want to do with acid. I'd rather be.
I wouldn't enjoy
rather
that
be
at
out
all.
and about, and doing something fun.
Yeah, but it's too damn cold to be doing that.
Some of the most fun I had. Lived in San Francisco for a year in the mid 70s, kind of my summer of love period. A lot of acid out there then. We go north to Mount Tamalpais in Marin County and hike around. And I remember we would just roll down the hill, literally like little kids spinning around, totally, flipping, going down the mountain, like adults acting like kids, but having a blast. So, I'm all for it, but I just kind of stand back at it, and it kind of makes me laugh a little bit that this is where we're at these days with mushrooms. All of a sudden, people feel like they need to even try it.
Well,
if they never thought about trying it in their lives. Now it's in the news. I might as well give it a try because they're around. Oh, I have this little piece of chocolate, or I have a little capsule, or this or that.
But that's no different than it is with CBD, because they see CBD and they say, "Oh yeah, well, I might as well try that."
I'm not a big fan of that either.
We grew up with the symbolization of a mushroom. There are shows, and you can even hit a button on Facebook and post a little mushroom icon.
Oh, that's lovely. That's
yeah,
lovely.
but you can't do that with cannabis, can you? You're not allowed.
Well, I mean, they probably don't let you do a big red juicy mushroom, but any kind of mushroom, because it's so vague, to like whatever mushroom you want to use, perhaps as a whatever symbol. Because it's just such a general. Mushroom is like a weed or something. It's so general that it could stand for any number of things.
Yeah.
Versus saying cannabis or a fungus or a fungi. I mean, again, I'm not against it. I just find it. I find it funny in a lot of ways how people are getting into it all of a sudden now. Like it's the next thing that came along. Somebody's pressed the button and said mushrooms. Now you all are going to do mushrooms and you're going to treat it like a medicine. And they're just following the lead of cannabis.
No, what they're doing is they're looking at the cash grab that's going to be available, the same as this happened to the cannabis industry.
Yeah, I suppose so. But the difference is that, you don't need to have a facilitator to go home and smoke a joint. But this is what they're encouraging you to do if you're going to do a mushroom trip. You have to do it with somebody. That's a whole different thing. That's like a ketamine thing or whatever. You got to sit there with somebody and go through your problems and probe deep and whatever, which is not a bad idea, for psychological probing. And, I mean, LSD takes you really into deep places. I'd recommend that before mushrooms. If you really want to open up some doors to places you can never get to, that's what you should use.
I stopped my antidepressants and Ritalin and stuff like that, and went and started microdosing with mushrooms, and it's working for me.
Hey, if it works for you, great. I did a little microdosing. I didn't feel a thing. So I mean, zero.
That's the whole idea.
Yeah, see, and that's no, but that's the whole thing that we were talking about before Steve was here.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mushrooms and microdosing, you don't know how much should that microdose be. Everybody's different. What relief you get off of 100 milligrams, Al, might be perfectly fine for you, but somebody else might need 600 milligrams.
No, I understand that. And then you can go into the pain area. If you take enough psilocybin, your
pain levels drop as well.
That's right. But the psilocybin's not the only mushroom out there. There's another one. What's the other one? It starts with an M. What's that?
There's all kinds of mushrooms.
Oh, I know that. But I mean, like with cannabis, we know THC, we know CBD, CBN, blah, 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 the cannabinoids. But there's different strains of psilocybin. And then there's, what's the other type of mushroom? It starts with an M, mucilin or something like that. Len? Anybody?
Not sure what mushroom. You're not talking about mescaline.
No,
that's the only M I can think of. That
I know.
Mycelium.
Mycelium is.
Well, that's just another word for mushrooms.
It's not.
All mushrooms are mycelium.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, there you go. You see, thank you for that, because I only know about the two from what I've heard and read and stuff. So yeah, see, there's the.
There's also mycoprotein too. If you're vegetarian, it's something you can eat. I have vegetarian foods that are mycoprotein that are made from fungus. So that's a good use for it too. You're not getting high. It's like it's like a hemp product or something. It's not going to get you high, but it have other.
It's good for you.
Good purposes. It's okay. Plant medicine is fine. I just think the envelope is getting pushed pretty far. Post cannabis legalization, now it's kind of everything else. Again, I prefer things being decriminalized and legalized, that people don't have to deal with the legal system when they're trying to, use different substances. But I'm just not super gung ho. I'm covering it and following it, but it doesn't really appear to be my thing, to really work heavily in that area, like to work towards that legalization. I'll let other people do that.
I'm in. I want to say hello to Alexis. She's been posting from Instagram or LinkedIn, but for some reason I can't reply to her. So TBN Natural said hi too.
I mean,
Can you share comments?
When you also think about what needs to be accomplished for cannabis too, moving full steam ahead with fungi and other psychedelics is great, but we still have a lot of work to do in terms of legalization in states where it's not legal.
How many states are now legal down there?
You guys have it together in Canada. We have 21 legal states in the U.S., 37 medical states. And they've kind of hit, the easier states, the blue states, as we say, but now the red states are kind of harder to turn. And those are the states that are not legal. The South in America, Texas, Alabama, Louisiana, Florida, those places.
Their moonshine.
Right, exactly. But, and they just lost the ballot in Arkansas, one in Missouri, lost in South Dakota and North Dakota. So, those are harder fights.
The difference here and there, the difference between Canada and the U.S. is it's legal here in Canada, period. Although there's different regulations in different provinces for different things, Canada-wide, it's legal.
Right.
Where in the States, it's by state.
Right.
So it's and then you get into...
Well, it's not just by state, it's also illegal federally.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
Right. So you can't go to an airport.
I guess that's the big deal, in the States, is it's not legal federally yet. Like I watch the border patrol shows, and it's every show is there's 2 or 3 little segments about cannabis coming into Canada, going into the U.S., things like that. But what I see is most of the trafficking that's going on across the border is going from Canada down to the U.S.
Oh, yeah.
It used to be the other way. We used to get our weed from you.
I thought it was the other way. We were getting our weed from you.
Well, now we do. Now you do, yeah.
So. No.
BC Bud and all that. There was a period where that a lot of weed was coming in, to New York from Canada. I mean, now very little weed's coming into the U.S. from any place.
Well, you've got your own.
Right. There's very little border, snatching of. I saw like a graph that came out this week, and like it's gone down like this in terms of like up at the top when smuggling was coming in from countries all over the world to like almost zero now. I mean, very little. Who wants Mexican weed? Nobody. So, at this point, I mean, unless, people in Texas who want their $50 ounces of Mexican, weed, which I've seen down there in Texas, people have their little stash. You'll find if you go deep into somebody's drawer, you'll find their $50, bag of like seeds and stem weed from Mexico. But by and large, Americans really don't want that at this point. They don't want that swaggy weed. I mean, the legal states, I guess, are backdooring a lot of weed back to the rest of the country and to the East Coast because we seem to get a lot of good quality stuff. Now gradually, moving into the legal, environment, you'll see the shift to, locally grown versus wherever it's coming from. And that's what's happening here in New York. We've just legalized in New York, and the state is just starting to open stores. But what New York is dealing with is it's a huge illicit market, a massive illicit market that's really been there all along, but really came out of the closet during the last year and a half since legalization happened. And people just didn't want to wait. They didn't want to just sell door to door from their apartments, out of their car, wherever however people sell and deliver, illegally. They really wanted to be upfront and go into stores and sell it, like that. And so there's hundreds of stores all over New York selling weed illegally now. And some of it's pretty good, and the prices are pretty good because there's so much of it. But now there's the battle between the legal market and the illegal market, and the legal market obviously wants room to succeed. And with the illegal market, competing so intensely, they're going to, the authorities are going to try and shut it down. And the difference here in New York is that New York is taking an unusual approach of allowing people to get in the door first who had some issues, might have gotten arrested, been out of the legacy market, not just big companies coming in and grabbing up all the licenses, which has been the case in most states in the U.S. New York is
that happened here in Canada as well at first.
Exactly. New York is doing it.
They all came out of the woodwork, and then some of the legacy market tried to get involved, and they wouldn't let them, and then some of them snuck through. We have a company called Cafe here, who has been opening and closing and getting shut down and getting raided and opening and staying open and staying open and staying open. They're fighting on residence stuff, like the shop is actually in an apartment as opposed to a storefront, that kind of thing. But they've continued to run to become a very good standing company in the city of Toronto, although it's an illegal market. They've recently started leaving their store open. One of their stores open 24 hours, I've heard now. So
wait, that store is not a licensed store?
No, it's not. It actually sits beside several licensed stores.
And then
it's a very interesting company, because what they did was they played on. There was Marcel, help me out here. There was a little bit of a glitch in the licensing that allowed somebody to run a dispensary in an apartment and not be raided. Hey, Marcel?
What?
Remember, you know the story about Cafe. They bought a condo, or they rented a condo. They moved in. They opened up shop, but they got away with. They would get raided and then be open the next day because they were using the place as residence as well. So they had to give them access
because the upstairs was the residence.
Yes.
Right. So when they raided the shop and they closed it up, they locked everything up. But they couldn't lock it up because it was their only place of residence.
That's right. So what they did
So they got to go back into it, and as soon as they went back in, they opened it up again.
And then they put big blocks of concrete in front of the building, Steve.
The cops did that.
The cops did that. They came in and the big concrete things that you see at construction sites, and they put them literally in front of the building, and nobody could get in and out. They hired a tow truck. The tow truck moved a couple of blocks. They put a tapestry up, a picture of the actual front of the store with an opening through the blocks so that people could still go into the store. And they fought that, and they fought that, and they fought that. It made a big precedence. And basically the cops are just like, what the fuck do we do now? You know? and they were given a license to open legal stores, but during the lottery that we had here. And then Health Canada went, whoa, wait a minute, you know, but they're still open, still illegally, still fighting it. Right? It's amazing what people will do to get a point across. And you've been watching that happen for a long time, haven't you?
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, watching the legal market kind of move in on the illegal market is new for me.
Yes.
You know, we're seeing that happening in California and other legal states, but I think New York's a little bit different. Just the sheer numbers of the stores that have opened up, whether they're an obvious store that's a big sign that says cannabis dispensary on it, you know, and it says THC with a big pot leaf, or a so-called smoke shop that's mostly, you know, bongs and pipes and papers, and then in the back, you know, where they take the money behind the counter, they have a lot of weed. Or it could be a so-called bodega, you know, which is like a Spanish, you know, deli or whatever around New York that will be selling it behind the counter. Everybody's selling it wherever they can, you know, honestly. And so it's just, you know, it's gone kind of like out of control. I mean, in a good way for the consumer, because you can just walk down the block and just go into a store and buy. You don't have to wait for your deal, or you have to wait 2 hours for him or her to show up. You don't have to go somewhere to find them. You don't have to deal with any of that. The store is there with a pretty good selection, you know. So you know, there are advantages to that, and good pricing, because there's so much competition. I mean, good pricing for New York would be, you know, $15 to $25 eighths. You know, it's come down. I mean, New York, you know, was used pretty standard $60 eighths for a long time, but it's come down to 60. You know, it's come down
$60 eighths.
Yeah, it's come down to 40, 30,
so $21, $22 a gram.
Yeah, expensive. But I mean, New York was $400 to $600 ounces. When I was working at High Times.
Wow.
New Yorkers would pay. New Yorkers would pay. There wasn't that much around. You'd buy what you could get your hands on. It was a seller's market then. I mean, pounds were selling for $5,000-6,000 a pound. Back in those days. I mean, now California is on the phone with a friend of mine who lives in Northern California today. He says $400 pounds now. So yeah, you sort of feel bad for the growers. They're getting squeezed out because of the low pricing, but it's so good for the consumer that I kind of don't really feel too bad for the grower. That the grower and the whole paradigm has shifted dramatically to what you can expect to make on selling marijuana. It's not what it used to be. Now people took lots of risks and took the chance of getting arrested, but the prices were high because it was going through so many hands. It would go from one person to the next, and that person would mark it up, and the next person would mark it up, the next person until it was sold. Yep. So because everybody was taking a risk. Now the risk is less, and the pricing goes down, and that's great for the consumer. It's not great for the grower. But the states have to figure out how to tax properly so that they don't force people out of the market with taxes that send the prices way too high. People will rather just buy from the illegal market. So I don't know why the states can't figure this out, but I guess they will over time because it's all kind of new to them. The states are getting involved in a business they know nothing about. They know nothing about cannabis. These are bureaucrats. These are government bureaucrats who step in and take over jobs where they worked in one department or another, and now they're in the cannabis department. What the hell do they know about that?
We call that the exact same thing here at the government of Canada and Health Canada, because they're basically a bunch of boneheads that know nothing about cannabis that make all the rules and control it.
Yes.
Well, has it not gone well in Canada?
Well, it depends on who you ask.
Yeah, it depends on who you ask. Canada took a lot of people's money. So some investors in Canada took a lot of people's money and then lost all their money. There's a few companies that have survived and will continue to survive.
And then you get the major players like Tweed who have now backed out of the market.
Yeah, well, Tweed has just ended their retail sales operations.
Yes. So
it's going to be going to Tokyo Smoke and I forget who the other one was.
So only to their stores, right?
Yeah, all of the Tweed stores are now going to be divided up between these two, and they've basically washed their hands of the retail market, which the retail market was only making 8 points per gram.
I think it was 9.
Was it even 9?
Yeah.
That's not enough to sustain a business. Unless you're selling other paraphernalia products, etc., that you can get your 25, 35, 40, 50 points.
Jack told me when I was considering opening a legal store, he told me that don't do it in the city because it's oversaturated. Find a small town somewhere where there's nothing around for hundreds of miles, and you might make a couple of bucks, but you're never going to be a millionaire with one store.
Oh no, not at 8 or 9 points. You're not.
No.
Yeah, I have a friend who has 2 liquor stores in Brooklyn. He does fine, So I mean,
he's selling liquor,
right? But this is the same difference ultimately with weed when they figure out the pricing, figure out the supply, figure out the taxing. It's a new economy, and they don't have it figured out yet. And
that's Canada's issue is the taxing.
The taxing is what's killing everybody in Canada.
Same thing in the U.S. too. And depending on the states, learning from other states, high taxes. Hey, we're not going to make the taxes so high, But I mean, the 30-40% taxes that you've seen out in the Western states, initially, maybe they've dropped it lately, but that's just a recipe for disaster to keep the black market going.
Exactly.
So I mean, I'm not I don't have an opinion, a stance pro or against the illegal market. I've been buying weed in New York my whole life illegally. So, stepping into a legal market is fine with me, but, I have no problem getting it from other sources if that's where it's going to come from. But I'm interested in how the legal market will operate in New York, and especially with the equity focus, I want to support it. Now, honestly,
it was a big fight in New York to even get that.
There's one store open in New York right now. There's one store.
Only one?
Yeah, one opened a week ago, and they did it with a lot of fanfare because they had promised all year long to open up some stores. They didn't get anything open until 2 days before the end of the year, one store. So it's not close enough for me to just go down there and pick up some weed. I went there for the opening to see how it looked, to buy a bag, to see, to support it. But, until they have some stores in my neighborhood, where I live, which is, say, 10 miles from where that store is, it's around the block here. I can walk to it. I'm either going to get my weed still from my regular guy who comes and drops off weed for me every so often, or I'll go to one of the stores that are around here that are selling illegally. So it's up to them to, get their stores open and encourage people to buy legally. Until they do that, people are just going to buy from whomever. And that's the way it sort of should be, but I don't see how the legal and illegal markets can coexist and survive together. And that's where, like, that store up in Toronto, right next to a legal store, I don't see how the legal store can succeed.
The funny thing is that legal store is now closed.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, but the illegal store is still going.
Right.
They have three or four different locations in the city.
I don't see that happening.
Toronto itself, Steve, is oversaturated with weed stores, legal and not.
I bet.
Oversaturated. I mean, when I was at the lounge in Hamilton, you walk out the front door and there was a dozen dispensaries on Main Street, just lining the street. It was a mecca of cannabis. That's what you could smell when you walk into the area. It was fucking awesome. And we had a lounge right smack dab in the middle of it. I like being able to just walk into a store like I would a convenience store and say, I'd like that strain, and this much, please. Thank you. And then you leave.
Yeah, actually,
bullshit.
I think that most people in New York don't care where they're buying their weed from, as long as the price is good and it looks okay to them.
What's the quality like, though?
I found in those, illegal stores, it's okay. It's commercial weed that we're used to seeing in New York, really tightly, manicured, tumbled pot. You don't see a hair, you don't see a leaf. Really smooth, nice and green or purpley, whatever. Decent quality, for the price. Okay. Can't really complain about that. But I don't see New York following that same route, especially in the fact that the licensing that's going on now is for legacy, people of color, people have been arrested for weed, stuff like that in the past, justifying them getting in the door earlier. The medical providers